So we got the hype and exciting spoilers for chapter 245 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's get straight into it. So the last chapter ended with Higuma activating his domain expansion and reopening the previous case of Itadori committing mass murder in Shibuya, but this time they've added Sukuna as a co-defendant, ending off with Sukuna being suspected as the true culprit for Yuji's crime. However, before seeing what happens next, because we do get back to this later, the chapter opens up with seeing the Hikari vs Urum fight. Oh my god, yes, I know a lot of us have been eager to see Hikari fight again. Urum grumbles since she got separated from Sukuna and attacks Hikari with Frostsea, so this takes place right after when they broke out of Hikari's domain, because we see that Hikari is in jackpot mode due to the music notes playing on the top left of the panel. It goes on to say that Frost Cal is the true essence of the cursed technique ice formation, and it hits the subject with cursed energy in a super cooled state and freezes them. So yeah, this like freezes Haki's entire left side. It was also used at the end of Shibuya shown to freeze an entire squad of sorcerers, so it's got some really good area of effect stats. But by seeing Hikari's left arm being broke into ice bits, Rumi says it's over until they realize that Jackpot Hikari can instantly regenerate thanks to infinite cursed energy, reflectively causing the reverse curse technique to be applied automatically, and Hikari sends Yum crashing down a building. Makes attacks once again but gets shocked by Hikari's regeneration speed. She says Hikari's regeneration speed surpasses that of Gojo and Sukuna. Wow, that's pretty huge, but deserved praise for Hikari. Like, yeah, his jackpot mode is no joke. He really is unkillable for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, technically forever, as we saw in the Cosimo fight, if he just keeps opening his domain as soon as the timer ends. Obviously, if you're able to kill Hikari within the time period after the timer ends and before he can cast another domain, then that's a different story. Moving on though, Urum grabs a hold of Hikari, who's about to kick her, and tries to freeze his leg, but Hikari slips out his shoe and kicks her which sends her crashing through multiple buildings. That play is kind of insane, and I love the panel where he tries putting his Jordans back on after intentionally letting it slip out to counter Rum's Ice. Rum then says she'll change her perspective on Hikari. Humans fear loneliness, which makes them weak, but Hikari doesn't have that part of humanity in him, so says she won't consider Hikari as human anymore. No way, guys. Just said Hikari is built different, simple as that. He's not like everyone else, therefore I must change my perspective and fight him as if he's something not human. Like, guys, it gets even better when Urum says she'll crush Hikari with all her might, and yeah, it definitely seems like she's unleashing something new. But Hikari, one of the coolest characters in the series, he responds by saying, I've been heated up for a long time, bring me an ice cold one, and their battle cuts off from there. But gosh, I am so glad G showed us a tease of this fight. Ari is one of my favorite characters. I'm sure it's the same way for you guys. I mean, I don't really know anyone that doesn't like Hikari, and yeah, when he says that I've been heated up for a long time, obviously he could just be paraphrasing, but I think it's referring to seeing Gojo die, because he was a student of Gojo 3 years ago and respects him, right, unlike most of the other Jujutsu higher-ups, so to kind of let his hot steam out against the cold ice user Urum, man, that's a textbook matchup. I'm also excited to see what Urum can do, because while her technique is great for acting as Sukuna's chef for all these years, freezing and thawing all the food and whatnot, I'm sure there's more to her battle strength as well, and why Sukuna chooses to keep someone like her. So again, I'm just very looking forward to seeing the rest of this fight. But we then cut back to the trial where Judgment says Yuji is accused of mass murder in Shibuya, but Hikari defends Yuji, saying the true culprit is Sukuna. Kuruma thinks of ways to uphold Sukuna guilty, but Sukuna without any care says to get the process over with already, since he already knows about Higuma domain rules back when he was in Yuji's body, so he's only interested about Higuma's sword and nothing else. Okay, so if you watched my last video, I said that Sukuna won't beat the alligator, and technically I was right. Like, he does get the death penalty and confiscation like I explained in the video, but it's not because he couldn't defend, it's because he doesn't want to bother trying, and yeah, that's like so in character for Sukuna. Just plead guilty anyways, doesn't want to go through all the boring stuff, and would like to see Higuruma's executioner sword, because yeah, a blade that one taps anyone it touches, of course that's going to interest Sukuna, right? However, what I got wrong in that video was thinking that confiscation was going to take away Sukuna's slashing techniques, because listen guys, when the description says confiscation takes a person's curse technique away, do you really blame me or anyone who could have thought that instead of taking away the slashing technique, Judgment takes away the curse technique of Sukuna curse tool? It confiscated Sukuna electricity or lightning Kamet weapon, and it not only fooled me, it fooled the crew's plan, because Kusakabe and Ino immediately joined the battlefield being under the impression that again Sukuna can't do his slashes anymore. However, the chapter ends with Sukuna slicing up Kyuzukabe and Higuma. Remember, these are the same attacks that killed Gojo and killed Cosimo. These are attacks that can cut existence or the world itself pretty much. So as we see in the panel, these cuts should be going through Kusabi's arm body. Heck, it's going through Higuruma's head like his skull. Unless they didn't plan some sort of contingency, Higuma should die in the next chapter. Same with Kyuzukabe, he could die with his limbs literally getting sliced apart, but is Gay going to actually kill them off right here and right now? I really don't know. Like, the only in story feed or in story knowledge that could potentially happen is maybe Oyoi teleporting here, quickly teleporting their bodies back to SH in the comb center, and then Shoku using reverse cure technique to heal them, or something new will be shown, and somehow in some way it makes them alive. Maybe it's through Ino's seance technique again. I could just be coping. It's either they die in the next chapter or we learn a new revelation that happens and it causes them to stay alive. Gay is so unpredictable because the thing is, so far this chapter makes sense. Like, instead of confiscating his curse technique, it confiscates the curse technique of a cursed tool, because curse C tools have curse techniques imbued within them. It's like, damn, who could have ever thought? If you did somehow predict this, then kudos to you, because I'm sure most of us never saw a possibility like that coming. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these crazy leaks in the comments section down below. I do have my college exams in a couple hours from now, so yeah, gotta hit the dash. But as always, I'm going to go more in depth when the full translations come out, so be sure to look up for my chapter review releasing sometime this weekend, or maybe Mondays if I'm late. As with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.